Over the last few years, I've had quite a few people ask me how I edit my ride vlog videos. Well, today I'm going to reveal all of my insider trade secrets and show you exactly what I do. Okay, so here we are in my editing software package, and because I edit using a Mac, I'm using one of their editing package called Final Cut Pro X. Now this is a professional editing software package, but the features that I'm going to be using today can be found in literally every other editing software package. So if you're running something else such as Windows Movie Maker or one of these other free ones, you should be able to do pretty much more or less what I'm going to show you today. So here we are. I have all of the clips that I shot on my ride, and for today's example I'm going to go back to a ride that I did, I think in January or February, and recreate a typical kind of ride vlog. So like I say, I'm using some clips that I shot on the bike back then, and unlike the regular ride vlogs, which are normally about 10-15 minutes long, I'll make this just a couple of minutes long, but it should be long enough to show you all of the techniques that I use. So the first thing I'm going to do is just very roughly put the clips that I'm going to use in order. So let's start off with this particular clip here. Let's put that into the timeline. Let's use this next clip and put that into the timeline. And then we'll use this little piece to camera here, stick that into the timeline. Another little ride shot, let's stick that into the timeline. Let's skip forward to use another piece to camera, so let's use this piece to camera clip here. Another kind of on the bike shot, let's stick that into the timeline. One more, stick that into the timeline. Another piece to camera, and then I think that might be everything. Oh, let's just have this one just to end it. So I'll take the whole clip in to give you an idea of how it all works. So okay. Well, here we are. This is the down here in the timeline we have the vlog, which is using the entire clip for each one. So it's quite long at the moment. It's 18, nearly 19 minutes long, but we're obviously going to trim that down a bit. So the next thing I'll do is I'll drop some music in there, and I use a website called Epidemic Sound, and that is specifically for online creators. So you can download all of the tracks, and as long as you're a subscriber to that website, you can use the tracks copyright free for the life of the film being on YouTube. So I've got a few tracks here already, so let's just hear what this one sounds like. It's not quite working for me. Okay, let's just use this one, and I'll bring it down into the timeline and put it here. So now the next thing I need to do is sort out audio levels. Now this top clip here of what I see from the bike, and I'm going to call this almost like my B-roll clip. If I play it now with the audio, the music, the ride footage will be considerably louder than the music, so we have to sort that out. So I'll just let you hear that. So as you can probably hear, it's quite loud, so we'll just reduce that down a little bit and now play it. I also think the music is a little loud, so I'll bring that down a bit. I'm paying very close attention to the levels here of the audio levels, and I like to have the music so that it's peaking at about -6 dB, so I think that's perfect on the music level, and that's about right with the level of audio for the ride footage. Okay, so there's our first clip. So what I need to do now is just break that down into its individual little parts, and if I go into the timeline a little more, I generally sort of don't use the first few seconds of the clip because the audio's just sort of it doesn't record the audio for some reason on the GoPro. So here we are, just skimming through it, and I'll find a bit. I always like this little thatched cottage here, so if we come in just before that, I just trim the clip back a little bit, bring the music back so it starts, and then I'll play it. So it's playing, I'll just pass the little cottage, and I'll end the clip there. I'll use the razor to split it, and that's all of that clip that I'll use. So the rest of it I won't use. So I'm skimming forward in the timeline to the bit where I turn the camera up to me. So I'll cut it there again, and then I'll delete all of that other stuff out. It's obviously playing silly devils there. So if I just do that and then bring the music back in, and I'm not paying too much attention to sort of how long these clips are. The only criteria that I'm using is just what feels right. So that feels right to me, and you obviously go with the music as well, so that kind of feels right there. So that's enough of that looking up at me. Skim through it again. The next part of that clip is me pedaling, so let's just clip that out, cut that out. It's doing that again for some reason. I don't know why on earth it's doing that. So let's just do what we did before, bring that back. Let's see how much of this pedaling shot that we want. And now the music changes there, and that's a very good point to cut that and change to the next shot. And the way I shoot them is I'll always top and tail these shots with the camera looking forward on the bike. So if we come back in there, again use the blade to split the clip, and it's just going to be stupid and delete the music with it as well for some reason. So if I do that, bring the music back, and now we just need to see how much of this this clip of me going up Day Lane we want to use. So, and again, the only way we're going to know how to do that is by just playing it and just watching it and just going for the feel. So let's just do just that. So we're watching the first clip. And third clip. Here's me riding up Day Lane, or at least arriving at Day Lane. So I turn the corner, just get around the corner a little bit, and there's another point there where the music changes, and that does seem to be a good point to cut that clip as well. So there we go. We just go in with the blade again, and we can move on to the next shot. Now what I might just do here, instead of keep going backwards and forwards between the ride shots, this might be a good point to have the piece to camera. So I don't need to use the rest of this clip, which is highlighted. Let's come back here, let's delete all of that out, bring the music back in. And we probably don't need any more of this clip either, because it's just more of the same. So I'll just delete all of that out. And here's me doing my piece to camera. So let's find where that starts. And normally I'm looking at the audio levels here. So if I just press that, and on the headphone setting on Final Cut Pro X, that will now just play the audio from, or I will only be able to hear the clip that I've highlighted. So you won't hear the music. So here we go. And because I'm holding the camera in my hand, it's had to find it. And I brought the camera up to the place where I'm going to talk.
Hello there, and welcome to today's ride, which is actually my first ride of 2021. A couple of days ago I said that the minimum rides that I'll be doing in a perfect world would be about 50 kilometres. I've come since...
I made a mistake, so I've decided not to go ahead with that one. But if I skim through it, I think I had 2 attempts on that. Looking at the audio levels here, there's a gap, a couple of gaps. And I think I must have got it right on the 3rd take. So if I just give that a quick play.
Hello there, and welcome to today's ride. And welcome...
It's obviously take number 4. I'm not very good. So right, so that's got to be where I get it right. So again, let's go in, use our blade, cut it there, and then delete everything before it. And now the more eagle-eyed of you may have noticed that this clip is out of sync. So basically what you see and what you hear don't quite match up.
Hello there, and welcome to today's ride, which just also happens to be...
You can see that the audio is slightly in advance of the video. Now I don't know why it does this. It just seems to be something that the GoPro Hero 6 does when I record it and I bring it into Final Cut Pro X. It's always done it. I've spoken to GoPro about it and they are adamant that everything is fine. Clearly isn't. And the way I get around that is by doing this. I'll highlight the clip, I'll detach the audio, and I know from experience that this audio is exactly 3 frames in front of the video, or the audio is 3 frames in front of the video. So if I come back 3 frames, 1, 2, 3, and I slip the audio back, that should now be in sync. If I just release the headphone thing, I bring the audio level down on here so we can hear what I'm saying.
Hello there, and welcome to today's ride.
So you can see that it's right.
This also happens to be the first ride of 2021. Now a couple of days I said that in a perfect
It's a little bit low on the level, so I'm going to bring the levels up to -6 again.
Ks, but I've since come to realise that that's a bit of nonsense, because all that does is just put me off going out. So the thinking today is...
And I'm listening to it now to hear where to end the clip.
Just to get out, do a shortish ride, and then I've done my first ride of the new year.
So that seems like a good place to end the clip there. So I'll just grab the end of it, bring it back, and I'll grab the end of the audio because it's still separate, remember, and I'll leave it just hanging over, because what I like to do, I just like to do kind of audio fades, and that's the control here that you can see that I'm doing. The audio level just goes down slightly and gradually after the video ends, and I'll do the same at the front. I'll just bring that in a little bit. It just makes it sound a little bit better. Now what I also like to do is what is known as a J-cut. So that means the audio on my piece of camera will start before you actually see me. So it's running underneath this clip here of me going around Day Lane, and I'll show you how to do that. So what we need to do is bring the audio level back up for the music, and we'll put the fade for the audio levels in first. So let's come back to this clip here. So, and this is done with keyframes. So I'll go to the audio inspector in Final Cut Pro X, to the audio settings for the music track, and I know that if I put a keyframe in here, I like to do it, start the fade down of the music before I start talking, I need to have another keyframe when I start talking, and then another keyframe when I think that I'm going to actually see me start talking. So I just need to listen to it again and just determine where that is.
Hello there, and welcome to today's ride.
Okay, it's going to be just after I've said welcome to today's ride. So there's another audio keyframe in there. So let's set the audio for when I'm actually talking.
Now, a couple of days I said that in a perfect world.
There we go. So that's the audio level where I'm for the main part of this particular piece to camera. And then on this keyframe here, I just need to drop it enough so that you can start to hear what I'm saying.
Hello there, and welcome to today's ride.
And this fades it out nicely
also
here.
Happens to be the first ride of 2021.
Now actually I've just thought again, I think that actually might be a good place to start seeing me. So with Final Cut Pro, all you need to do is just drag the second or the third keyframe, and that's where the fade ends. So I'll just show you that. Hello there,
and welcome to today's ride, which just also happens to be the first ride of 2021.
So obviously you can still see me as I'm saying that sort of first piece on this piece to camera. So to advance the video over that first bit, I select the toggle tool, and I grab the end of the outgoing clip and the beginning of the incoming clip and simply slide it back, and it all snaps to the keyframes. So let's watch that now.
Hello there, and welcome to today's ride, which just also happens to be the first ride of 2021. Now, a couple of days I said that in a perfect world.
So there we go, that's all working, and you may have heard that we can still hear the audio from this clip of me going up Day Lane. And again, I like to have a nice little fade out of that, so I just grab the audio, bring it back a little bit and fade it out, and let's hear what that sounds like.
First ride of 2021. Now, a couple of days I said that in a perfect world my rides would be a minimum of about 50 k's, but
there we go. So let's just watch that first little bit and see how it all kind of sits. Oh, the next thing we need to do is just fade the picture in here. So I just drop a cross dissolve on that, and we need to fade the audio in there as well. So just fading audio in. So you'll notice that there are no titles over this at the moment. I'll drop those in a bit later on. Plus it's all looking a little bit flat on the video. The colours aren't sort of looking that great. Just looks a bit washed out. That's because I shoot with a very flat colour profile, and I do something a little bit later on called grading, and I'll show you what happens there. But at the moment this is all kind of feeling right.
Hello there, and welcome to today's ride, which just also happens to be the first ride of 2021. Now, a couple of days I said that in a perfect world.
Well, there we go. That seems to be sitting as I want it. So the next thing we need to do is work out what we're doing when we come out of this little piece to camera.
My first ride of the new year.
So we're into this kind of B-roll clip here. So if you notice that it starts off with me, because again I'm holding the camera when I shoot this. So let's just let it stabilize, and we can take off that first bit where the camera's wobbly there by trimming the clip. And again, we need to bring the audio back in, and we do that with the keyframes. So I get to the bit where it looks like I stop talking, come into the audio inspector, keyframe there, and then another keyframe just as we're coming into the new B-roll clip. Let's bring the audio back up. let's hear what that sounds like.
And then I've done my first ride of the new year.
And we just carry on like that until we're kind of happy with the way things look. So I think that's enough of that clip. So let's go and use the blade tool, move on to the next little bit of that. So I've gone down from the road to the cycling computer, but it might actually be nice to use that move. So I'll delete this first bit out.
Yeah.
And we're back in there. Now we're a bit long on the actual road shot, so if I take a little bit off the beginning there, so maybe there, try it to there.
Yeah.
And that's enough of that, so let's clip it there. Find the next bit, and then we've got another clip of me pedaling, so let's have that. So I've just cut it all. And that's enough of that. Again, I'm just going on feel, and that clip is upside down. So what we need to do, we need to turn it up the right way. So again, with Final Cut Pro, you highlight it, you go into this little framing button, and then you can just turn it up the other way, and there it is round the right way. And these kind of clips are useful because they don't actually add anything to the story. What they do is they break up shots that are too similar. If you had two shots too similar together, you would have a jump cut, and that just doesn't look particularly nice. So I go from there to a shot of the countryside. Again, there's another kind of camera move, so let's just get rid of the camera move bit by trimming the clip. Play that. Get another change in the music. That seems to be a good place to cut that. See what else we've got on the rest of this clip here. No, it's all unusable, so let's just delete that away. Then we've got another road shot. Just take the beginning bit off. So it looks like I'm climbing up or going down Tanner's Lane there. So let's just find a reasonably interesting bit. And I can see we've got a piece to camera coming up here, so I'm turning the camera around. It's a handheld one, so let me just cut that there, and we'll just do exactly the same as we did with the last piece to camera. So let's trim it back. Let's hear what I'm actually saying. Let's fade. Hang on. Let's just hear what I'm saying.
Just riding up White Horse Lane, which normally...
Okay, so I make a false start there, so that's where the audio, or the usable audio, actually starts there. And that seems to be the end of it there, looking at these audio levels again.
Certainly feeling it.
Again, let's cut it there, and we have to resync it, so again, select it, detach the audio, come back, just zoom in a little bit, 3 frames back, 1, 2, 3, back, extend it out, and it should be in sync now. So now we just need to work out where I would like that to do the J cut over the top of this clip. So and I think I should start my piece to camera about there. And again, we'll do the audio level thing. So I'll just put an audio keyframe in just before. Just another keyframe where I start talking, and then a third keyframe where I would like to actually see me.
Riding up White Horse Lane.
So I think that's probably about there. reduce the audio level down on the music, reduce it down here for the fade to the point where you can just hear it. I think I need to up the audio levels here.
Riding up White Horse Lane.
So let's just hear what that sounds like. Let's go back a little bit more before that keyframe.
Just riding up White Horse Lane, which normally isn't too difficult, but it's my first climb of the year.
So that's all looking good, and again we just need to go grab the trim or the dual trim tool and slide that back, and it snaps to the keyframe. So again, let's just have a look at that, see what that looks and sounds like.
Just riding up White Horse Lane, which normally isn't too difficult, but
there we go, we can see that that's all looking right. So let's just do one more piece to camera and see what's on the rest of that clip. Now that's completely unusable, so let's just delete all of that away. We come back into another road clip. So let's just
feeling it.
Let's bring the audio back in
I'm
again.
certainly feeling it.
With the keyframes. So one there to start the fade in, one there for the end of the fade in. Bring the music level up.
The bike, and I'm certainly feeling it.
Okay, that's plenty of that. Let's slide this along, see what we've got next. Oh no, I don't. I start wobbling a bit. It's not good, it's not good. No. I tilt it back up. Okay, this is a good opportunity for me to show you what a jump cut looks like. So what we've got here, we've got a shot looking forward on White Horse Lane, and that goes to another shot. I think that might be White Horse Lane again. So if I just play you that, you'll see what a jump cut looks like. There it was. I don't know if you saw it. I'll just show it to you again. Yeah, sometimes they are quite effective if you're cutting it to a sort of a track that has some definite beats to the music, but generally speaking I don't like to include jump cuts, which is why I will include shots like this to kind of break those up. So if you imagine we've gone from this shot here, we'll have a shot like this or like this, and then we can go to this next shot. So let's just scroll along here and see what else I've got on this. I've got another one of these, so let's just delete that. Now I think that should end there. Clip that out. Got another piece to camera. I think that starts there. Let's clip all this, remove all of the stuff that we don't want. Let's find where this piece to camera ends.
On the road in this temperature.
I think it ends there. Let's clip there. Remove that. And we just need to resync it again. So detach audio. Zoom in so I can see what I'm doing. 1, 2, 3. Move that back. There. Do the little audio advance thing.
Last couple of kilometres now.
Let's just raise the audio level. Do the fade out of the music. So keyframe there. Keyframe when I start talking, and then a keyframe when I want to see me actually talking. So let's hear what that. Let's reduce the level of the audio or the music back here. Reduce to the level of the fade. Hear what that sounds like.
Last couple of kilometres now, and it is starting to warm up a little bit. It's now 3 degrees Celsius.
Okay, now I think we might be unlucky with this audio here. No, we don't have enough. So I think what I need to do is just Control Z that, and I just need to maybe bring this back a little bit more, and that might give me a little bit more on the, yeah, looks like it. So I now need to just slip the keyframes back, so that's where I start talking and that's where you see me. So let's just see.
Last couple of kilometres now, and it is starting to warm up a little bit.
Oh no, just need to jig that a little bit more, so that's where I want to see me. Pick that up. Oh, don't. Grab that, bring it there. Yeah, got enough. Just watch that.
Last couple of kilometres now, and it is starting to warm up a little bit. It's now 3 degrees Celsius.
Okay, so, and let's just have just another clip here, just make it something slightly different. Come in here with me pedaling away or looking backwards on the bike.
Out on the road in this temperature.
So that's enough of that there. Just do audio fades. So a little audio advance there on that. Keyframe there on the music. Bring the music back up. Okay, we don't need that. And again, you notice that this is upside down. Now the beauty of Final Cut Pro is you can copy and paste all of the effects that you've created. So if you remember, we flipped or we rotated this particular clip 180 degrees, and I can just copy that, and then I can go Shift Command V, and then that will let me copy the rotation to that as well, and that clip is back up to the right way. Okay, now we could include this final piece to camera, but I think you've got the idea now of how they work. So let's just completely delete that out of the way and just end it with me riding past the camera. So I set up the little Osmo Pocket, and I've set it there. You can see me just dipping into the left of frame there when I'm setting the shot up. I'll ride away, and that's me riding away back down White Horse Lane. Let's just do the zoom here. There we go. I'll turn around and I'll ride back up again. So this is the bit that we want, so we can get rid of everything before that and just have me riding up White Horse Lane. I'll ride past the camera, and we're out. So I can just reduce that down, and that's that. But you may have noticed that the music ends quite a bit afterwards. If we can hear how the music ends. Well, it just sort of fades out. We could recreate that, but I think that does sound a little bit amateurish when you do it yourself. It's much better to use the natural ending of the music, and the way that I would do that, I would use the blade tool on the music track. I'd cut it there. Oh, just lost my connection to my mouse for some reason. There we go, we're connected again. So I would cut the music there, and we need to hide the join under me talking when the music's reduced. So if I just cut in there, delete that piece of music, and then I'll bring the ending back here to end with of me. Well, it just needs a bit a bit longer. So if we have some of the music running a bit longer still. And what might help is if we put a cross dissolve on the video at the end here, so that you'll see the difference now. Okay, now let's just extend this music back, reduce the level of the music back down, of this trimmed clip to so that it's the same level as the rest of the track. Let's just get rid of that. Zoom in so we can see a little more. So the level of the music here is minus 26 dBs. That's minus 24. It needs to come down another 2.
Very quickly.
So you can't really hear the join.
After about 5 minutes or so.
And now we just need to put the fade back in. And again we do that. Zoom in a bit. So another audio keyframe. Audio keyframe. Raise the level of the music and see what that looks like. Well, I'll play it with the... This is the original piece. This is the trimmed piece. And you shouldn't really hear any join because the music is quite quiet and it's hidden under what I'm saying. So if we just play that.
It's a relief to get out in the cool, but that obviously very quickly goes away after about 5 minutes or so out on the road in this temperature.
So there we go. That is essentially how the pictures are edited together. But like I say, there is a in my opinion, the images or the footage just looks a little bit flat, a little bit washed out. So we have to do what we call grading. So I'll pick a typical clip and use that as like a master grade. And the first thing I'll look at is the exposure. So this to me is looking like I could sort of make the dark bits just a little bit darker. So if I do that, and the light bits a little bit lighter, increasing that. Saturation can come up a little bit, and the colour, it's looking a little bit blue. So if I just warm it up a little bit there with the colour inspector, and then what I'll do, I'll also put a LUT on there. And in Final Cut Pro you have to load like a custom Lut Loader, and a LUT is a lookup table. It basically gives footage a look. And then I'll go into the inspector here again, and here's where I select the LUT that I want to use, and I quite like chemical. Oh no, that's not the right one for this. It's just a question of experimenting and seeing which one works best. Just try Domingo. No. And you can also vary the intensity of them. Let's try another one. Pasadena is usually pretty good. That's not too bad. Let's just increase the effect of Pasadena, and then we just need to tweak the contrast again, saturation, and the colour. I think it just needs to be there. Okay, now I'm reasonably happy with that grade on that clip there, and again with Final Cut Pro all I need to do to apply that to all of the other clips is control that, highlight the rest of the clips, so that's all, and then deselect the one that's the master clip, Shift Command V. Don't want to copy over the volume, but I will put the custom LUT and the colour board over as well, and that has then applied that colour effect to all of the clips. Now the next thing I do is I'll put the bars on the top and the bottom. Now fortunately this is one that I've used before, so I'll just go and grab those from another project. So this is my title, and these are the bars. So I just again copy and paste those in. Copy and paste. Get the timeline back. Now the bars that I took, the project that I took these bars from was much longer. So again, I just need to use the blade tool to trim those down. Again, just delete those away. Get the timeline, and this is obviously out of the out of sync. So let's have a look and see where I would like to place that title. I usually place it over the second clip. So let's just shift that back there, zoom in a bit, so it starts at the right position. Let's extend those titles and black box so that they end in the right position. And there it is. Now this dotted line at the top here means that it needs to render, and that's basically, it just needs to process all of the color effects that I've put on there, and that takes a little while. So while that's doing it, I'll just explain about these bars here. I have to recreate them out of like just a color effect, and obviously it's just a black box that I put at the top and the bottom of the shot. And the reason I do that on the GoPro clips particularly is not only does it kind of look better, I think, from a framing and a composition point of view, it also reduces that horrible kind of distorted wide angle effect that the GoPros have, and it makes it almost look like you're shooting it with a normal camera. So I'll just leave that there and let that render for a little bit. That'll take a while, so I'll just stop here and then I'll come back when it's all rendered. Okay, so that has finished its render in real time. That took about 6 minutes or so. The clip's only about, let's see, it's just under 3 minutes long, so not too long, but obviously when I'm rendering a clip or a video that's 15 minutes long, it takes a lot longer. At the moment, because all the clips are in 4K, I'm obviously editing in 4K, but what I'll do now is I'll just check things through very, very quickly. See, mainly the intro, so this is feeling right. Make sure that the title comes in at the right point. Make sure that the audio comes in at the right points.
Hello there, and welcome to today's ride, which just also happens to be the first ride of 2021.
So the audio levels are looking good.
Now, a couple of days I said that in a perfect world,
It's all in sync.
my rides would be a minimum of about 50 Ks, but I've since come to realise that that's a bit of nonsense, because all that...
Let's just fast forward that a little bit. It's all just, I'm skimming through now just to make sure that everything's in order and where I kind of want it to be, really. And then I just play the end bit just to make sure that's right. Just come back a bit so that I hear the join.
But that obviously very quickly goes away after about 5 minutes or so out on the road in this temperature.
Make sure it ends okay. Yeah. Okay, so that's all. I'm happy with that. Let's just bring the playhead back. Let's come up to export, master file. Next. And then I'll give it a name. So test. Edit and press save, and then it will create the file on my desktop, and that is the file that I will load or upload to YouTube. Hello there and welcome to today's ride, which just also happens to be the first ride of 2021. Now, a couple of days I said that in a perfect world my rides would be a minimum of about 50 k's, but I've since come to realise that that's a bit of nonsense, because all that does is just put me off going out. So the thinking today is just to get out, do a shortish ride, and then I've done my first ride of the new year. Just riding up White Horse Lane, which normally isn't too difficult, but it's my first climb of the year after a week off the bike, and I'm certainly feeling it. Last couple of kilometres now, and it is starting to warm up a little bit. It's now 3 degrees Celsius, but I'm not sure I can feel it all that much. When I leave the house, my strategy is to get as hot as possible, so I'm almost sweating when I leave the house, and it's a relief to get out in the cool, but that obviously very quickly goes away after about 5 minutes or so out on the road in this temperature. Well, there we go. That's more or less how I edit my ride vlog videos. It does depend a lot, very much, on how you shoot them in the first place, and I've also got a vlog showing you how I do that. So there you go. Now you know everything that I know, and hopefully you can go out and start your own YouTube channel. Thanks for watching.